Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, gratefully covering alcoholic and addicts just like every day. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe, leave the video a like, drop me a comment, and by all means, share it with anybody you think might get something out of it. On that, how we all doing, guys? What a beautiful day. It was a great day. I got up this morning, finally back to the gym after skipping all week, so that felt really good. Went to church, went to a meeting. From there, I went and did some step work with my sponsor. Ended up being a very full, busy day. I had a little a little side project after that. Somebody got in touch with my old friend, somebody who I used to know from my former life, managed to get herself arrested and needed to be bailed out. My friend Doug, having a heart of gold, wanted me to go bail her out, but she's not doing the right thing, and I wasn't going to waste my day, though I did go drop the money off to the police station so she could bail herself out. And that was, so at least I know she could get free, but I'm not going to waste my time for somebody that's just literally going to probably hit me up for money so she could go do more drugs or whatever she was up to. And then my sponsor and I went to the Carnival Festival here in Somerville, and that was a good time. We had some good food, watched some really good acrobatics. Just a good day, guys. And that's the thing, I can handle things like that today without it screwing me up because I maintain my spiritual condition. That's so important. It was great celebration of my sponsor's 10 year again today with another group, so we get to celebrate his 10 years. It was so nice to present his medallion with him for him Friday night. Celebrate with him again today. I actually got feedback from somebody today that thought I did a great job presenting his medallion. I thought I kind of tripped up my words, but, I was glad somebody got something out of it. That felt good. And it was a good day of doing step work and realizing one of the questions I was answering was, is there anything weighing heavy on me in my life today? And there isn't. I'm dealing with some big things that are important things, and they carry emotions with them, but they're not weighing heavy on me because I've accepted that things are going to go the way they're supposed to go. I'm committed to seeing the things that I'm doing through, and I'm part of the no matter what club, so I'm not going to use no matter what. I feel like I'm walking in God's hands every day, so even though life's situations will happen, I know I'll get through them okay, so long as I continue to maintain my spiritual condition or maintaining my faith. And everything seems to go that way. And when you can work your program and see things for what they truly are, there's no reason for anything to weigh really heavy on you. If you're trying to do everything right, then you accept actions have a consequences. My actions are good today. I don't have to fear bad consequences if I'm not doing bad things. So nothing really weighs heavy. I accept life on life's terms, and I try to do the best I can, and so far it's working really well, so I don't let things bother me. But that's only because I maintain my faith, and I do so on a daily basis, and that happens to be what we're going to talk about today, guys, in case you hadn't guessed. Maintaining our faith is the Just for Today NA meditation. Maintaining our faith. If we maintain our spiritual condition daily, we find it easier to deal with the pain and confusion of life. When we first began searching for a power greater than ourselves, many of us got stuck in old beliefs or ideas. These range from the fear of a punishing God or a vengeful God to no belief at all. Some of us felt that we had done such terrible things that a loving God would never have anything to do with us. Others were convinced that the bad things that happened to us would not have occurred if a loving higher power existed. It took time, effort, open-mindedness, and faith to acquire a working belief in a loving higher power that would guide us through life's challenges. Even after we come to believe in a power greater than ourselves, our old ideas can come back to haunt us. Major setbacks in our lives and the insecurity such events can trigger may give rise to the return of our old, inadequate ideas about God. When this happens, we need to assure ourselves that God has not abandoned us, but is right here to help us make it through the hard times in our recovery. No matter how painful our loss may be, we will survive our setback and continue to grow if we maintain the faith that we have put in God. And the affirmation is just for today. I have worked very hard to build my faith in a loving, caring higher power that will guide me through life's challenges. Today, I will trust that faith. Guys, profound. Simple, short reading, to the point, and it's my truth. It's what makes all the difference. It was a really, I love when these readings are so aptly just, I didn't look at this reading this morning. That wasn't my focus for the topic of the day. But we heard spiritual condition today and realized that the reason that I'm not struggling is because first and foremost, I maintain my spiritual condition. I understand that my spiritual condition, being very strong and in a very healthy condition today, has made such a difference in my life. And the most, and I'm talking not just mentally, guys, I mean physically. It has changed my world. I was known as the unluckiest person because that's the energy I was. It's not even the energy. I was just plain doing everything wrong and expecting different results, making the same mistakes over and over again. That's literally insanity. And that's what I was living, hoping for the best and getting the worst because I was doing the worst. I've changed my energy, and it took a lot, guys. You don't just flip a switch. I mean, I talk about this often. I went into complete isolation. I realized I had to completely retrain my brain. I've done that by shutting off media, getting rid of any negative people in my environment, a lot of prayer, a lot of meditation. I mean, I've gone through hypnosis. I've done nothing but taking in incredibly uplifting things, challenging myself to journal, write, to make sense of my past, to find my accountability in every situation. So therefore, and the thing of that is, guys, that was something I did almost because I was told to, and I'm so glad I did, because suddenly, from living in what I thought was just string theory chaos my entire life, suddenly everything made sense. And when you can make sense of things, you can learn to work within the sensible parameters. In other words, do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. You want to feel good about yourself, do good things. Like it's really that simple, guys. And again, there's exceptions in this and there's levels. But for a base starting point, maintain your faith, maintain your spiritual condition. And the reason I say that is because what it's done, it has opened me up for opportunities, for good things, for good relationships, for things that make me proud about myself, that make me happy every day. And then I go out and I spread that to other people. And it turns into this whole, thing with momentum. It's taken on momentum of its own. It's brought me to places and answers and opportunities that I never dreamed would exist in my life. And we're talking just shy of 18 months, guys. I've completely and utterly changed my history. My history's the same, but where my life is heading for, and therefore my present. No amount of remorse will change the past, but the littlest bit of gratitude, and I have a lot of gratitude, and it is a absolutely relative equation. Gratitude for what you have today will lead to increase when you are truly grateful. And I don't mean sit there with a pout, with a pout on your or a scowl on your face and say I'm grateful. No, go out and be grateful. Train yourself to see the beauty in your life. Find the power in surrender. Guys, there's so much power in surrender, as contradictory as that sounds. I've given up everything that doesn't work, and I just ask for help, and I've gotten help. Like, it is amazing today. Like, I look at myself, just my physical appearance today is so much healthier. I can actually look at myself and be proud of who I am because of the work I've done and that work I continue to do. And I know that I can't stay clean and content and happy and proud of myself on the work I did yesterday. So I get up every day and I work on my spiritual condition every day. For me, it starts, I don't answer my phone, I don't talk to anybody, I don't do anything other than maybe go to the bathroom before I've dropped to my knees and said my prayers, do my morning meditation. That centers me, that reminds me of who I am, what I'm doing, what my intentions are, who I want to bring to bear in the world for that day, and then I engage with the outside world. And just that action alone is maintaining my spiritual condition. It puts me on a position of playing for power. Not power that I'm exerting my power over people, but I'm bringing the better part of me to bear. What's important to me? How do I want to portray myself? If I'm facing adversity, do I want to react with negativity and feed into it and get into a pissing contest with somebody? Or am I going to rise above it, understanding that it's a test, and it's not a test from God? And that's a big distinction, guys. It's a big part of maintaining your spiritual condition is understanding that your loving higher power doesn't put tests in front of you. Life puts tests in front of you. Your loving higher power gives you the power, the courage, the strength, the knowledge, the companionship, the support you need to get through life's challenges. Yeah, for me, and I'm not saying I'm right, and I'm certainly not a genius. I listen to many people every day that are way smarter than I am. But in order to, and this is the key, guys, find a way to apply it to your brain, the way you think, to your life. For me, I look at it as free will. The biggest and most beautiful gift we've been given as a species is free will. Now, unfortunately, we're human. We're not perfect, and a lot of us aren't even good. So the amount of free will everybody has causes a lot of suffering. It causes a lot of bad decisions. It causes a lot of people stepping on people's toes and selling bad products and just, trying to get over and above to make themselves comfortable. It is what it is. I can't change that. But I don't go start blaming God for that. What I understand is that I've survived everything I've survived, and I put myself through a level of hell few people will ever know. And it's one of the main reasons I decided to get on here and do this channel. And God let me know through a meditation that I was kept whole and safe through some of the most reckless, stupid things I've ever heard people do. A lot of things, as much as I've shared on video, a lot of things I just don't talk about because if I were to hear them out of somebody else's mouth, I would immediately turn the video off and say, this kid's full of shit. There's no way he did that and he's still here talking to us. Those that know me know. Like, I've walked away from some things that no human being should walk away from. Never mind the way that my body is healed. I've been through some things that should have left, mental, physical, emotional, and I said physical scars. I shouldn't be whole. I shouldn't have clarity of mind. I shouldn't have strength of character. I shouldn't have the physical abilities that I do, but I do because they're God-given. And no matter how much my free will run riot just was, trying to self-destruct, God kept me whole. In faith, God always has faith. God knows that one day I would wake up and I would use my story, my voice to try and encourage others, and therefore because again, I put myself through the situations, guys, and I didn't do it in hopes of someday using it to help others. I did it because I was convoluted and I was in the throes of an active addiction for over 30 years. I'm a very hard-headed guy with a very high tolerance for pain, so no physical rock bottom was ever enough. I mean, if I chose drugs again after spending 4 years homeless, coming out of my 15th prison sentence, and just the traumas that I endured sleeping in snowbanks and thinking I was going to lose toes, and looking over my shoulder and ducking and dodging police and ducking and dodging people I owed money to, and this and that and da-da-da-da-da, just the level of insanity. And then all of a sudden I moved to Somerville, I surrender, I put myself in jail, I get locked up, and I asked the judge to give me 6 months so I could get off the drugs. And I end up in a beautiful halfway house, I get a great job, I start putting a beautiful life together, and immediately I get in over my head and I choose drugs again. Like, clearly that physical rock bottom is devastating, and it being as bad, most people wouldn't survive 1 day of it, never mind 4 years of it, wasn't enough. So God started to make me feel more. He gave me some intimate relationships, he gave me some dreams, he gave me some hopes. And that's the thing, guys, I grew up wild, and I grew up hard, and I grew up listening because I was on my own from such a young age. I didn't have the answers. I knew I didn't know a lot, but I had to play the tough guy and think I knew everything. People saw the way that I acted, and I acted like I was out there trying to die every day, and people would tell me constantly, dude, the crazy shit you do, you're going to be dead before you're 25. I believed it, so I didn't plan anything for after 25. I didn't have hopes, I didn't have ambitions, I didn't have long-term plans. All of a sudden, I go through that level of disparity that I expected to have taken me out, and yet it didn't, and I was given this fresh start to rebuild. And so I had hopes, and I started to have dreams, and I started to, trust and get married and start to build a family and build towards a future. But I chose drugs because I didn't have a spiritual condition. One thing I didn't work on. I worked on everything physical, material. I went to the gym, got healthy, worked hard, made money, found the relationship, but I didn't build a conscious contact relationship with my higher power, God. I didn't build or maintain my spiritual condition, so it fell. It didn't stand. I didn't stand a chance of my own nonsense. My free will was still running the show. My ego was still, making decisions for me. This time around, I said a prayer in a dark place. And guys, I'd given up many times. I'd laid in bed and tried to just go to sleep and not wake up many times at that point. I couldn't physically harm myself, but I would lay there and starve myself of food and water in hopes of not waking up, because that's the level of despair. That was my rock bottom. That was, my spiritual condition deteriorated to the point where I didn't want to go anymore. And finally, I had a little spark of recognition, and I spoke to God, and I invited Him into my life. And guys, boom, that's where it was like flipping a switch. And again, I was in a deep, dark place. It still took me, 2 months just to acknowledge that I needed help outside myself. I thought once I built a relationship with God, I could walk through anything. No, God wanted to make sure I did this right, so He made it as painful and as gut-wrenching as it needed to be to get me to fully surrender, to accept outside help, because that was the key that was missing. I couldn't do this on my own. I needed outside help, and I had not accepted that yet. I was still convinced up until the beginning of this recovery that I could do this on my own. All I needed was to shed this or this. But everything was still within my grasp. When I turned my will over to God, and I physically did so, and that's what I mean by maintaining your spiritual condition, guys. Build a relationship. Turn your will over. I had to denounce my ego daily to remind myself that this ego was not running the show anymore. I was following God's lead, and I just got up and did the best I could with what God gave me on any given day. And it sounds like such a move of surrender, and it's exactly what it was. It was surrendering my own will, because my will didn't work. My will was broken. I had programmed it with so much falsehood that there was no logic to it whatsoever. So I found a higher power. And one of the first things He informed me of is that I was going to need a lot of exterior help. And He did so to other people. By me being honest, just talking with counselors and different people in recovery and doctors and everybody made me understand that I was eons away from right. But I got there in no time, because I did it through God. And God once I found the beauty in surrender, once I put my focus on building my spiritual condition, maintaining my faith, everything just fell into place. The right people started showing up right at the right time. Every time I spoke of a need, because I was looking for the answer outside of myself, it was dropped in my lap. When you start doing these things, guys, you're going to feel supernatural. But I didn't walk around saying I'm special. No, I just said, oh my God, I'm being heard. I'm being seen. I matter. God loves me. And I had much love for God and much love for everybody else, because I realized for once in my life I looked outside of myself and saw all the other suffering going on. And I said, well, at least the people I know, their brand of suffering, I can help alleviate some of that. So I started my channel, and I started going to meetings and being of service. And all my answers have come. Like, not all of them. I still have a long way to go, and that's a beautiful thing, because as good as things are now, it means they're going to get that much better. But all of it has come because for once in my life, I didn't chase material things. I didn't chase status. I didn't chase financial independence. Yet I've gained all these things by chasing my spiritual condition, by building my faith. Amazing, right? It is the fast track to anything you want in life. Just be the best version of yourself, and the best way to do that is to have faith. And you don't have to follow my version of it. Find yours. Believe it. Love it. Live it. Take action. Especially when you think nobody's looking. Do the right thing when you know nobody's looking, because that's when somebody's looking. You. That's when it changes. Your programming. Guys, we are walking computers that we are programming with our thoughts, our beliefs, our actions, every bit of which is changeable. All the factors is something you tell yourself repeatedly. Change your facts to something better. Become better. Do better. Want better. Do better. Get better. Simple as that, guys. I said that so much in the early days. I'm glad I said it today. Maintaining my spiritual condition has brought me to a place that I said it today. I'm like, I wake up every day and I'm so grateful. I feel so free. I almost can't believe that I'm actually living the life I'm living. But as I pass the tests that life throws at me, they show me who I truly am and show me that I truly do deserve to be living this life, and I do matter, and I do have something to contribute. So I show up every day, and I continue to do so, and things continue to get better. Guys, that's the video for today. Thank you so much for being here with me. Always remember, God loves you. I love you. We'll see you in the next one.